Well, good. Well, so since you've been with the company for a while, let's go back to the early days of Adobe and, the vision back then around PostScript. I know that, obviously that's part of the printing system that you've are quite familiar with, which was quite innovative, for its time, as a page description language, and how that core technology or vision has been the path to other Adobe technologies today. Can you kind of like describe that a little bit for us?
Yeah. Adobe started, was founded on the rock that is PostScript and that technology. And basically what was happening at the time, late 70s, early 80s, computing was becoming more prevalent in the world. We were doing more stuff digitally or using the power of a computer. And one of the things that PostScript enabled when it was created was to describe how somebody would create or assemble a page. How would they design a page, and how could they share that information with somebody else? The whole idea of a page description language, it really was a language which describes what a page should look like. And it was quite innovative. It was it's hidden within the internals of a system, but until that point, a lot of the computer work that was used to describe how something should be printed, kind of used a world that described the content that was to be printed, but not necessarily the details of how it should be laid out on a page. I mean, a good analogy today would be possibly the world of the web and HTML, or maybe even a tweet. When you put something on Twitter, you think about the text that you put out there. You don't think about how it will look, the form, how it will flow, compared to something like Instagram, maybe, which has a layout of how, so you get an idea of how something will look. Turn the clock back 40 years, PostScript was the technology of its day, which allowed you to describe in the computer how something should be presented. Now, reality is people didn't program PostScript. They used tools, they used word processors, they used other tools to do design. And it really got its start, a big boost when Apple adopted it as part of the Apple Macintosh. This idea that what you see on the screen can be captured in a language and then printed. And that was really, really, really powerful at the time.
Yeah, I remember, taking the raw code that came out from, PostScript, and it was English language, basically, versus the traditional escape codes that I used to have to do, escape backslash and all the other, gobbledygook that you normally see. It was truly a real language that not only was for the printer, but was also for the display or any type of output device, right?
Right, absolutely right, absolutely right.